So last night, Maria and I went to dinner, and there's an interesting phenomenon. Someone's in a lot of pain when they just ask arbitrary people what they should do for a condition. And this guy didn't know what we did, and he asked us if we knew anything that would help out the foot pain that he had on the bottom of his foot. And I said, "What's going on with the bottom of your foot?" He told us that he had plantar fasciitis. This is always interesting because people don't understand what plantar fasciitis is. First of all, let's describe the plantar fascia. Plantar fascia is a structure on the bottom of the foot that helps keep some of the structure of the foot. Oh, I'll show you on Maria's foot. It's a band that goes basically from your calcaneus to the bottom of your metatarsal heads. Underneath it is going to be all the intrinsic muscles that also give shape to the foot. So when it starts tractioning, when your heel starts moving away from your metatarsal heads, whether it's for your arches flattening out, or most typically because your calves are too tight, you start getting pain along the plantar fascia, which will be under the calcaneus and right behind the metatarsal heads. So we started talking to him, we started giving him solutions. He's all, "Wow, I've never heard of any of these things." And he's all, "What do you guys do?" And we said, "We help people in pain." And so we started describing to him what he should do, and he couldn't believe it was that simple, because he can't believe that what was creating such terrible pain in the bottom of his feet, and as he described, it would get him while he was asleep, and it would also get him up. It would hurt all day long, and it was searing pain. So we told him what he had to do. It's basically this class. And so we're going to go over a lot of things that help out plantar fasciitis today. So let us begin. You're going to start out. One of the first things I noticed, I didn't, you know, he was working at a counter, so I couldn't see his lower extremities. But what was evidently clear is, even though he had pretty good upright posture, is he had anterior head carriage, and without being able to see what was going on below his waist, I knew his feet weren't pointing in the same direction. So that's where we start. We're going to start out with feet parallel, hips width apart. Here's your ASIS. Here's your pubic symphysis. Midway in between is hips width apart. So your feet are only this far apart. Everyone thinks it's this far apart, and it's not. It's this far apart. And now you're going to push down big toe and the corresponding metatarsal heads, the outer four toes and the corresponding metatarsal heads, and especially that pinky toe, and finally your heel. So this is setting up that tripod, but we're going to do one step further. We're going to do something called small footing. So what you're going to go is go on to tiptoes, and you're going to turn your knees out, and that'll cause your arches to lift up. Keeping your knees turned out, you're going to put your heels down. And in doing so, it should lift the main arch of your foot, the longitudinal arch of your foot, and your knees are slightly turned out, but your feet should remain parallel. Then we're going to put 1/3 the way through the balls of your feet, 1/3 the way through your toes, and finally 1/3 the way through your heels. That means all the weight is forward in your feet. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. Now we're going to take care of the other piece we noticed on this guy. We're going to take care of the anterior head carriage. So you're going to draw your head back, shoulder blades down and back. We're going to fire up first chakra, which is your pelvic floor, second chakra, which is your lower abs, third chakra, your upper abs. So now we're seeing that there are many pieces that involve pain in the bottom of the foot. So ab stabilization, foot placement, dynamics in which we helix the energy through our legs, all have a huge piece in how we use the feet and the pain in the bottom of the feet. So by getting a head over the top of feet, it should tension down your calves just by doing that. Your abs are engaged, and we're just going to stand for a moment. Keep sucking that tummy, shoulder blades are down and back, and you're just going to breathe and balance. Already you should feel more of what we call the footprint of your foot. That's the gravitational part of your foot. That's the heel, lateral aspect of your foot, the ball of your foot, and your toes, and less of the arch of your foot, or the non-weight bearing portion of the foot. You shouldn't feel that as much now, especially since we small-footed the foot. Abs are nice and tight, suck in that tummy. Okay, we're going to do a hip circle. We're just going to see what weight distribution is like over the tops of feet. Try not to move your head. because as you move your head around, your balance gets thrown off. We want the hips to move, the head to stay still. Suck in that tummy. You're moving from your abs. Do not clench your butt. Opposite direction. You will feel now your lats working, your obliques working, and your abs working. Okay, so if you do have plantar fasciitis, this first part is going to hurt because it's going to first transfer to your foot because you already accidentally made your foot more flexible than your calf. We have to go after his calf. So we're going to put our foot on top of the block, our heel drops down, our feet are parallel. This is where we go specifically after the calf muscles and get it out of plantar fascia. You're going to externally rotate your knees. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. You're going to pump those hips forward. Feel what it feels like to stretch out now your calf muscles. Even though you might feel it in the front of your calcaneus or your heel bone or behind your toes, that is okay. Your job is to stretch out the gastrocnemius. And the gastrocnemius, when it tightens up, causes your shoulders to roll forward, your head to go forward, and your belly to turn off. So we're going to pull us out of that posture and into really good posture by drawing your shoulder blades down and back, head back, and keep your abs engaged.
30.
Okay. We're going to do hip circles. We're still just opening up the calf. Shouldn't feel this in your foot. We're trying to put more energy to the calf muscle instead of the bottom of the foot. Opposite direction. Try not to move your head. Okay. Gently switch sides. You may feel foot pain. That's okay if you have plantar fascia problems. Drop that heel down, abs are nice and tight, chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. You're going to notice your calves are really tight. Most people do because we have bad posture in general. We're going to pump our hips forward, abs are nice and tight. With plantar fasciitis, you're going to have a secondary thing, but your plantar fasciitis usually overrides it, which is low back pain. You won't even notice it because your feet are hurting too badly. Keep those knees turned out. That is the big key here. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. First, second, third chakras are fired up. Because the feet aren't supposed to take the stress of the body. The feet are supposed to, hip circles, are supposed to transfer work from as quickly as it can up to your big muscles around your hips. Your quads, your glutes, and even your pelvic floor and your ab. Your core takes over it. Your feet doesn't because of the muscles. Opposite direction, the muscles and bones in your feet are tiny. Keep those knees turned out. Head's not in motion. Keep your abs engaged. Good. Bye. We're going to switch sides again. Now we're going to go for a deeper calf muscle. It's called the soleus. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to bend and straighten your left leg only. Keep your knees turned out. This is going after soleus. It only crosses one joint. It crosses your ankle joint, and we're going to open that up. Keep your abs engaged. Okay. You can use your roller, because we're going for a functional stretch piece. You're going to lift up this leg above the level of your hip and back down. Try to keep that external rotation going on. Keep your feet parallel. This is a functional thing to stretch out your calf. Keep your left knee slightly bent. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. What number?
9.
I knew that.
10.
Okay, let us go to the other side. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. Externally rotate your legs, but keep your feet parallel. Bend and straighten your right leg. I'd get it. Suck in your tummies.
20.
Okay, what did we do next? We kept a slight bend on the knee as we lift the hip up and lowered it back down. Lift, lower, suck in that tummy. Keep the feet parallel. Notice if your foot wants to do something weird and turn out or turn in, try to keep your feet parallel. Already you should be feeling a difference as you take your foot off the block in the balance of your feet and the pain in your feet. Once again, feet parallel. We're going to go on the slight tiptoes as you externally rotate your knees and put your heels back down. That's going to give that arch in your foot. It's called small footing. Okay, we are not done yet. No, no, no. Where's my ball? Shoot, there's Mario's ball. We're going to go after a little tiny lacrosse ball, because we're going to actually work out some of the structures in the foot. You start out with your feet parallel. You're going to put your left foot on top of the ball, and we are rolling out the bottom of our foot. We're going to start out with both legs straight as both feet run parallel. I cannot stress that enough. Keep your feet parallel. You're rolling over your heel, lateral aspect of your foot, ball of your foot, and your toes. That's your footprint. And then after a while, you can roll the non-weight bearing portions of your foot. That's the arch of your foot and in between your toes, as your abs stay nice and tight and your feet run parallel. Just see what it feels like to roll all this out. The pain you're experiencing in the foot has nothing to do with the ball. It has to do with how you use the ball, or how you use your foot, sorry. Keep your abs engaged. Notice when your abs shut off. That's a big problem in this equation too. Keep your head over the top of your pelvic floor. Okay, now we're going to bend both feet. We're going to see what it's like with our feet bent to see if it's a soleus.
Bend both knees.
Bend both knees, that's what I meant to say. Bend both knees. Abs are nice and tight. Don't you laugh at me. It's been a long week. Roll it out. Keep the feet parallel. You could do circles of figure eights or side to side as long as your feet stay parallel. Okay, then we're going to try back behind us to see if it's different behind us. Keep your feet parallel. Your feet will want to turn out. You're going to keep your feet parallel. You're rolling that foot back behind you. Abs are nice and tight. We want you to pull through your hips more than you do through your knees or your calves. And once again, soreness in the bottom of the foot has nothing to do with this ball. It has to do with how you use your foot. It has to do with how you bend your feet. Okay, let's switch sides. Feet are parallel once again, abs are nice and tight, shoulder blades are down and back. So once again, everyone thinks plantar fascia is from the feet. It's not from the feet, it's from the calves. It's from a lot of things. Your core shutting off, it's from your pelvic floor turning off as well. That's why it's so hard to correct. And please, please do not get a surgery without trying all of these things for at least 6 to 8 weeks before you even think about surgery. Abs are nice and tight because foot surgeries are very successful because the problem's not in the foot. Just get the different aspects of your feet. Keep your feet parallel. You can even go side to side, or you'll see Mario do figure eights and things like that. That's fine. Keep your feet parallel as we now bend our knees and not our feet. Move from your hips. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Core engaged. And then take that foot back behind you. See what it feels like to keep your feet parallel with your foot behind you. It will want to turn out. Don't let it turn out. Move from your core. Ball goes under the ball of your left foot. Your feet are parallel. Now you're getting the idea. Knees are turned out even though your feet are parallel. We're gonna do some toe exercises. You're gonna squeeze the ball, and as you do, your toes come together. And then you're gonna lift your toes up, toes come apart. Then together and apart. Abs are nice and tight. You're working your toes. You're using a function of your feet. Keep your abs engaged. Notice when your toes wanna shut off. Don't let them shut off. What we're doing is we're trying to recraft the anterior arch of the foot, because there are 4 arches in the feet for 3 points of contact. So we have our big toe, and okay, we'll switch feet. We have our big toe, same thing on this side, toes come together, toes go apart. We have our big toe and the corresponding metatarsal head, outer 4 toes and the corresponding metatarsal head, and finally your heel, and those make up the 3 points of the tripod, yet we have 4 arches in the feet. Abs are nice and tight. That is that anterior arch, the lateral arch, the medial arch, and finally that weird one in the back of the foot, the spring arch.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna go back to the original foot. We're gonna do this for Annie. You're gonna curl your toes further around the ball by pressing down with the heel of your right foot onto your toes. Bend them over the top. We're creating that arch. Your toes should be able to bend this direction. That way you don't snap them off when your toes kick the coffee table or the corner or a chair leg or a table leg or one of the legs on your bed. Okay, move your foot slightly more forward as you do the same thing. Oh, yay, neighbor kids are awake. Parents are already yelling at them. Okay, good. We're gonna switch sides, same thing. Notice if it refers pain elsewhere in the body. You might notice it in your knees, you may notice it in your thighs. And that's referral, and that's what the feet often do. They refer elsewhere because their job is to transfer the work of what you make contact on the ground with immediately to some other part of your body that can handle it. And that is why you can walk across pebbles and stones and not hurt your feet when you walk across them. Abs are nice and tight. Okay, move your foot a little further forward.
Let the crying commence.
Yes, every morning. I did not understand children and families that start every morning crying. How miserable is life if you have to start every morning crying? Okay, come off the ball. Once again, just see what the ground feels like underneath you. You should be having a changing relationship with the ground. As we now get a block. The block's gonna go around or your toes are gonna go around the edge of the block. We're gonna continue to work some of that foot patterning. You're gonna stand up nice and tall, abs are nice and tight. So what we think is that our feet are responsible for the pain we're feeling the feet. It's so many other parts of the body. So as you curl your toes down, I want you to externally rotate your knees. You're gonna turn on your pelvic floor, so very important. Keep those toes wrapped around the front of the block, and you're gonna lift and lower this leg as you keep your transverse abdominis on. We're gonna use our obliques, as you can see. You're using your rectus abdominis, and most importantly, this glute medius, because if this glute medius is weak, you're gonna slam your feet into the ground. 9, 10, good job. We're gonna switch sides. Curl your toes around the block, abs are nice and tight, feet are parallel. First, second, third chakras are on. Remember, first chakra is that pelvic floor, second chakra is your lower abs, third chakra is your upper abs. We're gonna lift and lower. Keep your toes curled around the ball. We're starting at the foot to function. Turn those knees out. You should be lifting energy out of the ball of your foot. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in that tummy. And you're breathing. Good. We're gonna switch sides again. You're gonna put your foot on the ball of the block and we're gonna go into a high heel. Abs are nice and tight. You're gonna slightly externally rotate your leg, but not so far that it comes offline. It's just slightly. Abs are nice and tight. The majority of weight is going through the first metatarsal heads. Your abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Keep your shoulder blades down and back, and all you're gonna do is lift and lower. This is teaching you to turn on your quad and use your quad instead of the bottom of your foot. Because you've locked the position of your foot. 9, 10. Let's switch sides. Okay, same thing. We're gonna lift the heel up, slightly externally rotate the knee. Make sure the majority of weight is through that first metatarsal head. That's the knuckle of the big toe. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Same thing, we're just gonna lift and lower. If you feel pain in the bottom of your foot, it means you need to stick your booty out more and lock up the bottom of your foot in the shape that's supposed to be so you can put the work into your quad. 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep your feet parallel. 9, 10, and we're gonna switch again. This one is going to be super easy as you just let your heel drop down and then you're gonna lift it up high. Lift and lower your heel. Keep your abs engaged. Keep breathing. Suck in that tummy. Okay, let's switch sides. Abs are engaged. This is how the foot's supposed to work. So if you're feeling pain doing this, you really got to tighten up other muscles like your quad and your abs. Keep breathing. 9, 10. Okay, we're gonna come back to this foot. We're gonna flip the toes over. Your toes are curled under, your abs are engaged, your shoulder blades are down and back. First, second, third chakras are on, and then we're gonna squat. Feel what it feels like to bend those toes. You are breathing. So what you should feel just about now from everything we're doing, because we've opened up the calves, is your quads starting to get sore, or starting to work. Okay, switch sides. And that's what should be happening, and that's why we have to go after the quads next. Keep breathing. Keep sucking in your abs. Good. Go ahead and just notice your stance. It should feel very, very different. Okay? We're now going to go to our quads. Don't think we've forgotten about the bottoms of the feet though. You're going to go onto your left knee on top of the block. Abs are nice and tight. Your head is over top of the block. That is probably the most important piece. As you start doing your hip circles, suck in your tummy, shoulder blades are down and back. Abs are engaged. This is a function of strengthening the abs and that ab connection. So now we're doing hip motion without the feet involved. Make sure this knee stays over the top of your foot as you go in the opposite direction. Suck in that tummy. Okay, now you're gonna take your right hand, grab a hold of that left foot, reach back, grab it, pull your foot into your butt, and we're gonna stretch forward. This should be surprisingly tight. Abs are nice and tight, suck in your tummy, especially if you have plantar fasciitis, because it means you're walking with your knees locked out. So the quads have to shorten. So we're gonna make sure they can lengthen. Chest up, lean in, abs nice and tight. We're gonna do sit-ups here. You're gonna suck in your tummy and then release. Suck in your tummy, release. Tighten your abs so tight you feel them on the inside of your abdomen, not just on the surface. This should intensify the stretch into your rectus femoris, or the quad muscle. Stay holding onto that leg. Hand is on the roller. Suck in your tummy. You're gonna lift, hold, gently lower. Lift, hold, gently lower. We're gonna put you into function. Watch your balance. Smiles are up. Seem to have lost Mario. Smiles are up. Awesome. We're gonna switch sides. So you can see now that the problem in the bottom of your foot has very little to do with the bottom of your foot. It has to do with all the other supportive muscles that are supposed to absorb that energy, and they either become fixated in shortening or fixated in elongation, and we have to change that pattern. So head over to top of the block, abs are nice and tight, hip circles. Remember, every athletic motion's hidden in a hip circle, so as your hip circle gets cleaner, your athletic motion improves. If your hip circle is really ratchety, you're starting to lose balance in athletic motion. Opposite direction, suck in that tummy. Feel what it feels like to not move your head. Try to keep the alignment knee over the top of your foot so the knees don't get injured in this equation. Good. Now you're going to take your left hand, reach back, grab a hold of your right foot. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to push your hips forward. You're going into a deep stretch. Keep your abs on. This is time under tension, so no pressure in your low back. If you feel this in your low back or your knee, you need to activate more muscles by tightening your abs or your quads. Here we do our sit-ups. Suck in your tummy and then release. Suck in your tummy, release. Keep going. Changing the shape of your abdomen. We're lengthening the rectus femoris and the rest of the quad muscles. And we're just gonna reach up, lift up, stretch a little deeper. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in that tummy. Ooh, get a deeper stretch in there. Pull that heel to your butt. Oh. And then, here we go. We're gonna do a lift lower. You're gonna lift lower, lift lower. Abs are nice and tight. Watch your balance. Suck in that tummy. 9, 10. Okay, good. We're going to come out of this. We're going to come into kneeling, because we're going to continue to work those feet. I'm going to grab 2 blocks just because I have short arms. Okay, from this position, abs are nice and tight. You're going to lean back. Your toes are pointed. Okay, you're sucking in your tummy. We're going to be doing sit-ups. Just suck in your tummy, release. Just continue to do that. Change the shape of your abdomen, or it's never going to change shape. Try to keep your head aligned with your spine. Smiles are up. Okay, from here, we're gonna tip back. We're gonna pop a wheelie. Your knees come off the ground. You are stretching the arches of your feet back into the proper shape. That means we're loosening up the muscles on the tops of your feet as you continue to suck in your tummy and release. Suck it in, release. If your feet can't go this way, you're flattening out the arches of the bottoms of your feet, and it's exacerbating that plantar fasciitis problem. 8, 9, 10, okay? Curl your toes under now. So your toes are starting to curl under. So as we do this, I want to make sure you don't put the pressure into your metatarsal heads or the knuckles of your toes. I want you to push those heels back. Push them back, 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 back. This will stretch out specifically the soleus muscle. And then you're going to lean back. Shoulder blades are down and back, abs are engaged. Smiles are up, suck in that tummy and release. Suck in that tummy and release. Suck in the tummy and release. Seven, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And we're going to do something that Mario's really good at. You can use your blocks if you're on the tighter side. You're gonna roll back onto your heels, legs go straight, we're gonna do a forward fold, and then we're gonna go all the way back into toes bent. You're just gonna go back and forth. You're warming up into that stretch. Because this is where things went sideways anyway, so we're gonna start there. And if you notice, I keep lowering the height of the blocks, deepening the stretch. Whoa. So what we're doing is creating restoration of functional movement. What number is that? Oh, goodness. 9. 10. Okay, stay in a forward fold on this one. Suck in your tummy. We're going to hang out here. Suck in that tummy. Keep your pelvic floor tight. Close up your rib cage. It's time under tension, and you're stretching muscles, not joints. So if you feel low back pain, it means you've turned off your abs. If you feel knee pain, you've turned off your hamstrings and your calves and your quads. Feel foot pain, you have lost the arches in your feet, and that means your pelvic floor has shut off. And then now come back into kneeling. We're going to do a quick up dog. Wah. So your hips go forward. We're going to curl those toes under because we're going to involve the feet. Your quads go on, your abs are nice and tight, chest is up. Suck in that tummy. Arch your spine, because if you can't arch your spine, your poor feet have got to take it up. Push the pressure back in your feet. It's just fun to do. Okay, now you're going to drop down on your knees. You're going to bend your knees, bring your heels to your butt. Keep arching. Try to drive your hips forward by tightening your abs. There should be no pressure in your low back. If there is, that means you have to tighten your abs. Okay, push back into child's pose. Keep your abs engaged. For those who have plantar fasciitis, they actually have so much pain in their feet, they don't realize how much pain they have in the rest of their body. So that's why we're going to work on some of the other parts of your body that you may not realize is tight with plantar fasciitis. We're going to get our little lacrosse ball. If you have short arms, you can use your blocks. If not, you can put your hands on the ground. We're going to put the ball underneath your left butt cheek. Whew. You're going to cross your left ankle over your right knee. Oh, I guess I don't need the blocks. And you're going to roll out your left booty cheek. Your abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Your smiles are up. So last night we had an amazing dining experience. We were at Nanzan Giro Giro. Y'all got to try it sometime. It's kaiseki. It's high Japanese food.
Fancy.
What?
Fancy.
Fancy. Delicious. But I have to say what I liked most about last night's dinner was the miso soup. Mm-hmm. It was the simplest. Abs are nice and tight. How many courses? We had 6 courses, right?
Plus dessert.
Plus dessert. Oh, stretch it out, get out. Anything that feels sore, really tip over onto the side. Notice how you're losing some of the pain, maybe even sensation in the bottom of your foot. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. Abs are nice and tight. Keep your right foot dynamic. Like, be able to look at the bottom of your foot, because what we do is we forget the connections to different parts of our body, just because we experience tension and pressure in another part.
Circles.
Yeah. Keep breathing. Woo! That is sore. Shouldn't be sore. And remember, any pain you experience is not because of the ball, it's because how you clench your butt all day long, and that'll influence how the weight distribution is over the tops of your feet. Okay. Legs go straight. Touch your toes. It should be a very different experience than when we first started. Okay, take your small ball. You're gonna put it underneath your left calf. Toe's gonna point towards your nose and you're gonna roll around on top of that calf. Lean into it. You can even grab a hold of your toe, that'll intensify it, and you can periodically move it around. Burning and electrical sparking feeling is normal because we're really going after this. And we're compressing some of the nerves, the sural nerve, and what else are we getting here? It's affecting the L5, S1 nerve roots, L4, L5. So you may feel things in your feet. But you have plantar fasciitis, so this is nothing compared to that. If you haven't noticed, we're doing it for a couple of guys on the staff at Nanzan Gero Gero. Suck in that tummy. Don't let your abs fall apart. Don't let pressure go into your low back. You should feel nothing in your low back. Switch sides. Same thing. Pull those toes to your nose. Find anything that feels sore and get it out of there. You could periodically move the roller around or ball around to get different aspects of your calf muscle. Keep breathing. Keep your abs engaged. No pressure in your low back. Okay, good. Go ahead, take this ball away. You can grab your roller. Yeah, Wolfie's gonna just sit off the edge of the camera so you can't see what she's doing, and right now she looks like a drunk koala bear.
She ate, she's tired, she wants to nap, but there's scary noises.
Yeah. This morning at 7 a.m., who does this at 7 a.m.? Someone shoots off fireworks, aerial fireworks at 7 a.m. It's light out, there's nothing to see. People are sleeping. Abs are nice and tight, suck in your tummy, grab the bottoms of your feet, your knees are gonna start bent, and you're just gonna roll into straightening your legs. Don't let the work go into your low back because you're keeping your abs engaged. Feel what it feels like to bend and straighten your legs. Bend and straighten. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking your tummy. This is lengthening the calves and the fascia of the gastroc and the soleus muscles. Plus, it's just fun. Abs are engaged. And if you're doing it just right, it also gets your shoulders a little bit. Woo! Hold those legs out. Keep those toes pointed towards your nose. Hang on to the bottoms of your feet. Suck in your tummy. Chest up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roller goes off to the side. We're gonna see what it feels like to touch your toes, which should be super easy now. Ta-ta! Now you're gonna take your ball and we're gonna put it in the small of the back. Let me move the microphone. So the ball goes in the small of your back. And we're gonna counter stretch. We're gonna lean back. So if you lose what's called your lumbar lordosis, the curve of your low back, it will cause foot pain because the weight's gonna go really posterior on your foot into your heels instead of on the balls of your feet or your midfoot. Keep breathing. It's okay if your back doesn't like this a whole lot. You can periodically move it around if you like. You may even feel it to the front of your hips. That's because you overused your hip flexors, your psoas, instead of your abdominal muscles. which you should have used. Oh. Abs are nice and tight. Okay, bend your knees. We're just going to do a fun one. The ball goes underneath your sacrum. Your legs go up in the air. You're going to point your toes to your nose and then release. Point your toes to your nose, release. Abs are nice and tight. So like I said, when someone arbitrarily asks you about foot pain, they're in a lot of pain, especially when they don't know what you do. And these are some of the things you can do. We're going to look at knee function. You're just going to bend to your knees. You should have no pain or discomfort in your knees. If you do, it's a matter of turning muscles on. Figure out what quad muscles or calf muscles or hamstring muscles have to be on to stabilize your knee. You may have to internally or externally rotate your feet in order to do this. Good. Go ahead, straighten your legs once again against the ground as you rock your hips from side to side. Notice if one side is tighter than the other, or if it's symmetrically tight. Keep your abs engaged. Okay, we're gonna come back up again. I think small dog peed in the curtain again. Okay, we're seated back up again. You're gonna have your roller out in front of you. You're gonna put your what is this? Your outer shin on the roller. You're gonna roll it out. As you're doing this, I want you to massage out the bottom of your feet. It's interesting how once we experience pain, how little contact do we give to an area that's in pain. So see what's wrong with it, see what it feels like, and roll it out. This is getting the peroneus longus or the fibularis longus, whatever you call it. It has two nomenclatures now. You can get more towards your knee or more towards your ankle. And we are going to switch sides. Notice if one side was easier to roll. Notice if it was easier to roll because of your shin, or was it because of your butt? Massage out your foot. Make sure each one of your toes can bend. Okay, good. From doing that, this next thing should be super duper easy. You're going to bring the soles of your feet together, and we're going to just massage out the feet. Butterfly position, or whatever you call it. You can get your heels. You can massage everything out. We're going to open up your adductors simultaneously. These are your adductors. Chest up, smiles up. Okay, then you're going to keep your, right leg bent. You're going to grab it with your left hand, pull it across. You're going to take your right hand, grab your left leg, pull it across. We're going to stretch out your booty. Oftentimes your booty, your hip muscles, your glute medius muscles can get tight, and it can cause aberrant foot motion. So we're gonna stretch open your booty. Suck in that tummy. If you want, you can massage out your feet. Look at this. This is what we call a twofer. 2 for 1. You stretch out your butt and you can get your booty. Or if you're lazy like Maria, she's gonna say creative, you can roll out the bottom of your foot simultaneously.
Resourceful.
Resourceful. Let me try that. I don't believe I'm flexible enough. Keep that chest up. We're gonna stay here for a little bit because it's surprising how many people with foot problems actually have major butt problems going on. Suck in that tummy. Make sure that tummy's not getting in the way of your thighs. Because if they are, it's changing motion of the human body. I'm not flexible enough. I'm just massaging out my feet. We don't expect you to be yogis, but we do expect you to try to create as much symmetry as possible. Chest is up, and now legs go out in front of you. You're gonna shake, shake, shake out your legs. Okay, and now take your left leg, grab it with your right hand, pull it across midline, and then you're gonna take your right leg with your left hand and pull it across, as we now do the same thing on this side. We're stretching it, we're massaging the feet. We're gonna hang out here and try Maria's thing. Nope, my foot barely touches the ground. Chest up. Keep breathing. Smiles are up. Stretch out your glute medius muscles. Glute medius is essential in walk. In normal walk where we don't have unintentional limp, when one side gets tight or if they both get tight, we're going to initiate either waddle or we're going to create unintentional limp where we're heavy on one side, heavy light, and that imbalance is locked into us from a major muscle group like the glute medius muscles. Keep your abs engaged, chest nice and tall, heads up. Okay. We're going to straighten out your legs and jog them out once again. Just for fun, as you're jogging them out, reach down and touch your toes and see how much closer you are, how much easier it is. Okay, we're going to take the ball and we're going to roll it out on our shins, if that's as flexible as you are, but you're going to keep your abs on. If you're super flexible, you could roll out your toes. If you're super duper flexible, you can roll out the bottoms of your feet. You go to wherever you're comfortable. Abs are nice and tight. So we were at Nordstrom's last night and we kind of closed the place because we were there so late. But there was this giant behemoth of a wonderful man named Glenn who was escorting everyone out of the store. I'm sure he was part of security. But he was the biggest human I've ever seen in my life, so I had to take a picture with him. He was massive, and he was proportionally, it's not like he was just tall and weird looking, he was like mass, like this massive elite kind of Hawaiian royalty kind of guy. Okay, we're gonna counter stretch this as you put the ball in the small of your back, and you're gonna arch in the opposite direction. Probably your back's not gonna like it because we just spent a lot of time in flexion. Oh, rocky, rocky. Side to side, abs nice and tight. So we're finding out some of the weird mechanisms of the body and how we think a problem on our feet is solely a problem of the feet. Because seldom in the human body is the light where the light switch is. Okay. Wow, someone scratched the hell out of the roller. Abs are nice and tight. We're gonna do the last thing here. We're gonna go on the roller. Your feet are parallel. That's what's important. Make sure your head's on the roller, your feet are on the roller, knees are over tops of your feet. Your first, second, and third chakra, so your pelvic floor is on. You're closing up your rib cage, that's third chakra, and you're sucking in second chakra to get your spine to the roller. Draw your shoulder blades down and back, your head is over the top of your pelvic floor. We're just aligning in good posture. So we're getting that final piece in plantar fasciitis, which is anterior head carriage. So we gotta bring the head back over the top of the body. Otherwise, we're gonna create a lot of what's called torque over the heel bones of the feet. Not to mention low back and the knees, maybe even the neck. So just by getting your head back over the top of the body, it makes it much more stable. Because really that was the advantage to going upright. We had to put a lot of weight over the top of the structure in order to give stability. So that's what allowed our brains to develop, because we needed the mass above to balance being upright. So just breathe. Feel what it feels like to melt your shoulder blades down and back, but keep your core engaged. Keep your arches lifted. This is the whole point of everything we did, is to create that arch system back in the feet of the four arches of the feet. The anterior arch, the medial, the lateral, and the spring arch. Now connect the arches of your feet to your pelvic floor. You're going to close up your rib cage, and now you're going to use second chakra, your lower abs, to draw towards your center and towards the crown of your head, the arches of your feet. And breathe. Feel what it feels like to engage each and every one of your toes with the ground. To have an even distribution between your first metatarsal head, your second, third, fourth, and fifth metatarsal heads. Those are the knuckles of your toes. And finally, a light contact with your heel. Notice what your breathing's like as you find your way closer to center. Find your way closer to meditation. Find your way closer to connecting. Find yourself closer to allowing. Find yourself getting closer to receiving. You guys stay on your rollers, stay breathing. I'm going to come off the roller and bring you guys home. In the last few moments, just breathe. Realize you were not brought on this earth to experience pain. You were brought on this earth to express who you were meant to be. The pain is going to show you when you're most off of your trajectory. So on behalf of Mari and me, we'd like to thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy, and your willingness to do these crazy things. We just appreciate you so very much. And namaste.